On the banks of the Hudson River,
That's in New York State.
lies a rural port called Tarrytown, where in the old days men would linger about local taverns swapping tales.
Tales of ghosts and spooky things.
And the headless horseman.
Not far from this village, perhaps a mile or two, in a peaceful little valley, lies the little town of Sleepy Hollow. It is known to be one of the quietest places in the world. A babbling brook runs through it,
Babble, babble, babble.
and only the sound of occasional birds,
Tweet, tweet.
or woodpecker,
Peck, 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 peck.
interferes with the tranquility of the little valley.
Tranquility means peace and quiet.
Good job. Now some say Sleepy Hollow was bewitched because even in the early days, when the first Dutch settlers arrived, and the townspeople were known to walk about in trance and see visions.
Of ghosts and spooky things.
And the headless horseman.
Ah! Yes, the most popular and terrifying legend of all is the tale of the Headless Horseman.
Ah.
The headless,
Ah.
the horseman was an apparition
That means ghosts.
of a figure on a horseback riding along on his horse without a head. According to the legend, the horseman is the ghost of a soldier from the Revolutionary War whose head was shot off by a cannonball.
Ew.
And he rides up and down the roadway at midnight each night in search of his missing head.
Does he carry a torch?
I don't know.
Well, if it's dark, he needs to light a see.
Well, yes, I guess he must carry a torch.
But how can he see anything at all?
What do you mean?
You said he's looking for his head.
Yeah, how can he see to find his head if he doesn't even have a head?
I don't know. He's a ghost. Anyway,
But ghosts have eyes, right?
you want me to finish the story or not?
Yes.
All right. Well, once there was a school teacher by the name of Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod?
Ichabod Crane came to Sleepy Hollow from Connecticut in order to teach the children of the town. He was tall and lanky with big ears and a long nose, hurrying downtown with his long limbs and baggy clothes. He looked a bit like a scarecrow that escaped from a nearby cornfield. Ichabod was a fair teacher, but also strict. Spare the rod and spoil the child, he would always say. And when he had to punish a misbehaving child, he would always say, "You will thank me later for it one day." It was a custom in Sleepy Hollow for his townspeople to take turns feeding and housing the school teacher as a part of his pay. Each week, Ichabod would stay with a different family. He had an active imagination and would often get startled at the sounds he heard traveling from one farmhouse to the next at night. Oh my!
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
What's that? Rabbit. Who's there? Of all the farmhouses he visited, Ichabod was especially fond of one in particular. It belonged to a wealthy farmer who had a very pretty daughter named Katrina Van Tassel. In order to spend more time with her, he offered to give her music lessons.
Ichabod really like Katrina. Wrong. But somebody else liked Katrina too.
Yeah, Brom Bones.
Brom Bones was the complete opposite of Ichabod in every way. As Ichabod was thin and lanky,
Brom Bones was big.
Ichabod flinched at the sight of an old shadow.
Brom Bones was a daredevil who was always ready for a fight.
And that's how he got the name Brom Bones.
Ichabod tried to win Katrina's heart with music, books, and picnics in the park.
Oh, Ichabod, you're so clever.
Brom Bones tried to impress Katrina with his good looks, big muscles, and tales of his bravery.
I've never met a man so strong. The two rivals tried their best to win the favor of the lonely Katrina Van Tassel. When the news spread of the party at Mr. Van Tassel's house, Ichabod and Brom were both very excited.
Is wonderful day indeed if I can pursue, if I can persuade Katrina to dance with me, she will be my life.
When Katrina sees me dressed up in my finest suit, she won't be able to resist my good looks. Ichabod spent a lot of time getting ready for the party and did all he could to look his best. He even borrowed a horse from a nearby farmer so he could ride to the party that was a handsome prince.
But sadly, the horse was an old, tired plow horse. Ichabod didn't look quite as princely as he had hoped.
Brom Bones, on the other hand, looked like a hero as he rode to the party on his horse called Daredevil. Everyone turned their heads to watch as the handsome Brom arrived on his equally handsome steed.
Once the music began, Ichabod found his chance to shine. Music was his talent, and he was a fine dancer.
May I have this dance?
Certainly, Ichabod.
Meanwhile, Ron sat brooding about jealous of the attention Katrina paid Ichabod.
When the dance was over, the town people began to swap stories, and in Sleepy Hollow, like the people like to tell the town legends of ghosts.
And spooky things.
And the headless horseman.
Ah. When the stories began, Brom Bones saw his chance to gain attention. Feeling quiet as he began to tell.
I saw the headless horseman just last night. I was riding into town on my horse, Daredevil. And when all of a sudden we heard all the sound of galloping horses closing in fast upon us. So Daredevil and I rode even faster. Then all of a sudden I saw him riding alongside of us. It was none other than the Headless Horseman.
The Headless Horseman? Ah!
But I'm not afraid of ghosts, so I challenged him to a race. Our horses galloped side by side, faster and faster. He rode like the wind. Until all of a sudden, he vanished right in front of me in a flash of fire and smoke.
After that spooky tale, the party abruptly ended. People said their goodbyes and started heading home. It was close to midnight as Ichabod left the party. All of his ghost stories he heard that night were playing over and over in his mind. Every once in a while, he would hear a noise and jump with fright.
A cricket chirping?
Ah!
A croaking bullfrog.
What's that? That night seemed to go darker and colder by the minute. He came upon the cemetery, and an old and enormous tree with knotted, twisted branches that cast spooky shadows in the moonlight.
The spooky tree was surrounded by wooded marshland. Up ahead, a stream cut across the road, with huge logs placed across to serve as a bridge. Ichabod grew more and more afraid. He kicked his horse to make him ride faster. To his horror, as he crossed the bridge, he noticed in the corner of his eye something large and terrible riding alongside. Because it was so dark, he could only make out the shadows, but he knew in his heart that it was none other than the Headless Horseman.
Ah!
Ichabod nudged his horse to gallop faster.
But the shadowy rider rode even faster. As Ichabod turned to see what was behind him, a goblin rider hurled him that he thought looked like a head.
Object struck toward Ichabod and knocked him off his horse. Both his old borrowed horse and the demon rider continued riding past him in the night.
The next morning, old Gunpowder, the horse, returned to his master with no rider. Ichabod was nowhere to be found. By the end of the day, folks became worried and started looking for poor Ichabod.
When they reached the log bridge by the old spooky tree, they spied Gunpowder's saddle, muddy and trampled, lying on the ground. Not far away, they found Ichabod's hat lying next to a large shattered pumpkin.
Ichabod Crane was never seen in Sleepy Hollow again. The saddle, the hat, and the pumpkin were the only clues ever found.
Some say it was Brom Bones that chased Ichabod away, disguised as the Headless Horseman.
Visitors to the town reported seeing him alive and well in the city.
But there are those in Sleepy Hollow who still believe the Headless Horseman got poor Ichabod that night.
What do you